The Los Angeles Dodgers and the entire baseball world were left in a state of complete shock following one of the most disturbing and unprecedented incidents in recent Major League Baseball history. What began as a highly competitive game between the Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers quickly turned into something that nobody in the stadium, the clubhouse, or the front office could have ever anticipated. Willson Contreras and several of his Brewers teammates were involved in a violent altercation that targeted none other than Shohei Ohtani, the biggest star in all of baseball today. And in a decision that sent shockwaves throughout the entire sports world, Major League Baseball took the extraordinary step of voiding the Brewers' win entirely. How did this shocking incident unfold? What exactly happened to Ohtani? And what does MLB's stunning decision mean for both franchises going forward? When the final moments of the game played out and reporters rushed to get answers, the atmosphere surrounding both clubhouses was described as extremely tense and deeply unsettling. Security personnel were stationed at multiple entry points, and team officials from both sides were seen having urgent and heated conversations in the corridors beneath the stadium. Players who witnessed the incident firsthand were visibly shaken, and several members of the Dodgers roster refused to speak to the media at all, citing the emotional weight of what they had just witnessed. Everyone who was present that night understood that what had just happened went far beyond the boundaries of competitive baseball. The game itself had been an intense and fiercely contested battle from the very first inning. Both teams came into the matchup with something significant to prove, and the energy inside the stadium reflected the high stakes of the contest. The Dodgers had been performing at an elite level in recent weeks, and Shohei Ohtani was at the very center of everything they were doing offensively. Every time Ohtani stepped to the plate, the crowd rose to its feet in anticipation. His presence alone seemed to change the atmosphere of the entire ballpark, and the Brewers knew better than anyone that containing him was the key to any chance of victory. As the game progressed into the later innings, tensions between the two teams began to rise in a way that experienced observers found deeply concerning. There were several moments throughout the contest where words were exchanged between players on both sides, and the body language from the Brewers' dugout toward Ohtani in particular became increasingly aggressive. Multiple eyewitnesses in the press box noted that the situation felt like it was building towards something serious, but nobody could have predicted just how far things would ultimately go. It was in the moments immediately following the final out of the game that the situation completely spiraled out of control. According to multiple sources with direct knowledge of the events, Willson Contreras approached Ohtani in what initially appeared to be a routine post-game interaction near the field. However, within seconds, the situation turned violent. Contreras and several Brewers teammates who had gathered nearby became physically aggressive toward Ohtani in a manner that left witnesses absolutely stunned. The incident happened so quickly that security personnel were initially caught off guard, and it took several agonizing seconds before team officials and stadium security were able to intervene and separate the parties involved. Dodgers players who witnessed the incident from just a few feet away immediately rushed to Ohtani's defense. The scene that followed was described by eyewitnesses as chaotic and deeply alarming. Freddie Freeman, who was among the first Dodgers players to reach Ohtani after the incident, was seen visibly shaken as he checked on his teammate's condition. Freeman later told reporters that what he witnessed was completely unacceptable and had no place in the game of baseball. He said that seeing a player of Ohtani's character and professionalism being treated in that manner was something that would stay with him for a very long time. Freeman added that the entire Dodgers team rallied around Ohtani immediately after the incident, making sure he knew that his teammates stood firmly by his side. Mookie Betts, who also rushed onto the field during the chaos, addressed reporters after the situation had calmed down and did not mince his words. Betts said that what Contreras and his teammates did was a disgrace to the game of baseball and to the standard of professionalism that every player in this league is expected to uphold. He said there is absolutely no justification for what happened, regardless of the competitive emotions that come with a hard-fought game. Betts added that Ohtani handled the situation with remarkable composure given the circumstances, and that his reaction in the immediate aftermath of the incident spoke volumes about the kind of person and professional he truly is. After ensuring that Ohtani had received proper medical attention and was surrounded by team personnel, manager Dave Roberts stepped in front of the cameras with a look of absolute fury on his face. Those who have covered the Dodgers for many years said they had rarely seen Roberts appear so visibly angry at a press conference. Roberts said in no uncertain terms that what Contreras and the Brewers players did was completely unacceptable and represented a serious violation of the respect and dignity that every player in Major League Baseball deserves. Roberts confirmed that the Dodgers organization had already been in contact with MLB officials and that a formal complaint had been filed within minutes of the incident taking place. Roberts also addressed Ohtani's condition directly, stating that the Japanese superstar had been examined by the team's medical staff and that his well-being was the absolute top priority of everyone in the organization. He said that Ohtani showed incredible strength and composure in the moments following the incident and that his ability to remain calm under such extreme circumstances was a reflection of his extraordinary character. Roberts made it very clear that the Dodgers would be pursuing every available avenue to ensure that those responsible for the incident faced the full consequences of their actions. Major League Baseball's response came swiftly and with a force that surprised even the most experienced observers of the sport. In an official statement released shortly after the incident, MLB announced that after a thorough review of all available evidence, including multiple camera angles, eyewitness accounts, and testimony from both teams, the decision had been made to void the Brewers' win entirely. The statement described the actions of Contreras and his teammates as a serious violation of MLB's rules and standards of conduct, and made clear that the integrity of the game demanded an immediate and decisive response. The announcement sent shockwaves throughout the baseball world. Many veteran reporters and former players stated publicly that they could not recall a single instance in modern MLB history where a team's win had been voided due to player conduct following a game. The decision was immediately praised by the Dodgers organization and by a large portion of the baseball community, who felt that MLB had sent an unmistakably strong message that this kind of behavior would never be tolerated under any circumstances. Sources close to Ohtani revealed that the Japanese superstar was deeply moved by the overwhelming outpouring of support he received from teammates, fans, and fellow players from across the league in the hours following the incident. Messages of solidarity flooded in from players on virtually every roster in Major League Baseball, all expressing their disgust at what had happened and their unwavering support for Ohtani. Those close to him said that while the incident was undoubtedly shocking and deeply upsetting, the love and support he felt from the baseball community in its aftermath reminded him of exactly why he chose to dedicate his life to this sport. Inside the Brewers organization, the fallout was immediate and severe. Multiple sources confirmed that team officials held an emergency meeting in the hours following the incident, and that the mood inside the Milwaukee clubhouse was one of deep shame and regret. Wilson Contreras himself released a brief statement acknowledging that his actions and the actions of his teammates were completely wrong and that he takes full responsibility for what occurred. He extended a personal apology to Ohtani, to the Dodgers organization, and to the fans of baseball everywhere, stating that what happened does not reflect the values he was raised with or the standards he holds himself to as a professional athlete. As the baseball world continues to process one of the most shocking and unprecedented incidents in recent memory, the questions that remain are both significant and far-reaching. What additional disciplinary action will MLB hand down to Contreras and his teammates in the coming days? How will this incident affect the relationship between these two franchises for the remainder of the season? And most importantly, how will Shohei Ohtani, a man who has always let his performance on the field do the talking, respond the next time he steps into the batter's box? One thing is absolutely certain. The entire baseball world will be watching when the Dodgers take the field again. And if history has taught us anything about Shohei Ohtani, it is that there is no better motivator for greatness than a moment of adversity that demands a response. The stage is set, and Ohtani will be ready. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Subscribe to our channel for more interesting and up-to-date sports news and updates.